Welcome, everybody, to episode 6 of the Pipeline Talk podcast. Joined today, if it couldn't get worse than Mets fans, we brought a Yankee fan in. Welcome to Dylan. We are really excited to have him talking MLB All-Star break, kind of predictions for the rest of the season and what we've gotten so far. Really excited to have Dylan here with us today. Uh, let's just jump right into it. We're going to do some midseason team evaluations, starting with the wonderful Washington Nationals.
Well, I don't know if wonderful is the word I'd use, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, so we're doing some mid-season evaluations, just a little past 81 games on the year, and it's been bad for the Washington Nationals. There's really not else you could say. Like the last three, like if we had been doing this the last 3 years, I wouldn't have even used bad because they were like 40 and 45, which is not good. But there was not expectations either. It was like, okay, like the team's not very good, but they're kind of around 500. Like, okay, this team, in terms of talent, should be so much farther than 14 games under 500. But they're not. It's been pretty sad. They have a negative 68 run differential. That's second worst in the NL. I think third in baseball. Giving up the second most runs in the NL, just behind the Rockies. They're barely worse than the D-backs, and the D-backs haven't been good. We're third in MLB in runs allowed behind the A's. So they're behind two of the most offense happy parks in the league. So you could argue their pitching just as a staff might be worse than the A's and the Rockies. There's just not a booster park to send the balls flying. But no, it's been bad. The All the Soto trade pieces have been really awesome. CJ Abrams, I think should be an all-star. It'll be close. NL shortstop's pretty good spot. But he's like a 128 WRC plus. He's put up almost three WAR already. James Wood is James Wood. What else? Intentionally walked four times the other day. First guy that since Barry Bonds for that to happen. I mean, he's ridiculous. And Mackenzie Gore, awesome, another all-star, about 3 ERA, striking out more guys than anyone, at least in the NL. Other than that, Kyle Finnegan's pretty good. He doesn't have a lot of leads to hold, but when he does pretty well. Luis Garcia Jr. started really bad, and he's still like the worst defender in baseball somehow. I don't know how, but his bat's picking it up. But it's just disappointing. They got Nate Lau at in the offseason. It's kind of like a league average bat. Not great. Brady House just came up. He's been okay. He's young. He's going to take a while. He's a power guy like him, not a great hit tool. It'll take a year or two for him to really turn into anything great. But Keibert Ruiz is the worst at everything. I don't even want to talk. I'll get more mad if I talk about him. But really, for me, the biggest thing is they need to sell at this deadline. Anything expiring needs to go. Kyle Finnegan needs to go. I wouldn't hate to see Luis Garcia Jr. gone. He's still got some value. I mean, it's like at this point, the window of contention, like we wanted it to be like next year, maybe even this year. That's pushed back like 2 years. They're just so far. So really, anything not tied down for like 3+ seasons needs to go. I don't know if that's Mackenzie Gore. I don't think so yet. But this time next year, if this is how it looks, it might be time for him to go. But if I had to give it a grade, this has been like a D+ season so far. I mean, not many teams, not a lot of bad teams can say they have three guys worthy of being all stars. So you've kind of got that to build on. And even if the foundation is shaky, if they spend the money, like there could be a contender here sooner or later, but they haven't shown they'll spend. So we'll see. I'm giving it a D+. Uh, I really just would like the season to be over at this point, but we got 3 more months to go. But Nick, your team's doing better. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I was going to say we got a long way to go there, Paul. We're only halfway through. The Cubs, on
Mhm.
the other hand, have been an exciting team to watch for sure. First place in the Central, have been struggling here recently, but I think it's just kind of the summer slumps. We'll get back on the horse, starting to play some better teams, but we need to start doing better against the division. 49 and 35, good for tied for the second best record in the National League, so can't complain about that. But if we're turning our sights, it's got to point at Jed Hoyer. The general manager's in his final season. They've been pretty bad overall as the Chicago Cubs the last couple of years. So, in my opinion, it's make or break. If they do not make the playoffs, somehow have an epic collapse, this will be it for him. If they make the playoffs but don't really do anything, lose in the first round, I think it's also it for him. So he's kind of got to make some big moves. I think they need to be semi-aggressive to very aggressive if that's the route he wants to go. We have a lot of top 100 prospects still in the system that either need to play or get traded. Promoted Matt Shaw. He's been fine at third defensively, but not much with the bat. Overall, though, I mean, what a season PCA's having. Should be the starting center fielder, I believe, for the National League All Star team. Kyle Tucker is doing Kyle Tucker things, even though he's not hitting as many home runs maybe as we thought. He's just still been Kyle Tucker to the max, to a T. The pitching has been up and down, but Justin Steele missing the whole season is definitely going to hurt that. Shota's back now, so he looked pretty good in his first start back off the injured list. Got to see him in Nashville too on his rehab start. When I was there, they were facing the Nashville Sounds, and he went like four and a third with 7 or 8 strikeouts. Didn't really get touched. He looked really good. So all in all, the Cubs have been a very exciting team. I have a lot of high expectations for the Chicago Cubs. Just kind of blew up our window after one year, traded away a lot of fan favorites. Kind of haven't gotten a lot the last couple years, but definitely an exciting team to build around. I think we're still a bat short, and I would say that our starting pitching needs at least one or two. The rookies haven't really delivered, being Cade Horton and Matt Shaw overall. I would say the batting average isn't good. The under the hood numbers aren't really great either, but he provides a lot defensively and can run the base as well. So I think his best kind of spot right now would be to be a bench bat, or if you want to send him back to Iowa and you can get somebody, they need to get another bat, whether it's at third base or not. And the bullpen needs another veteran because even though Drew Pomeranz 0.0 ERA has been an absolute pleasure of surprise, a guy that has not pitched in the major leagues in 3 years is the only player left that is not allowed an earned run. It's crazy. Excited for his 5 earned run blow up appearance here soon,
Yeah, you just did
but
them.
may have jinxed him. Might be tomorrow. We will see. Cubs are off today. Overall, though, I would give this first half an A minus. I mean, you can't really ask for more other than a little more consistency here. Our ace of the staff was injured. We're relying on Colin Ray as a fourth starter right now. Matthew Boyd has been a really bright spot. Wanted to kind of touch on everybody here, but the 25 or 26 man roster up top to bottom has been solid. Just need to shore up some things, and I think at this deadline you have the pieces to make the moves. Jed Hoyer has to make the moves, or else he will not be the general manager or president of baseball ops, whatever you want to call it, of the Cubs anymore. Going A minus. Have enjoyed the Cubs season. Going to another potential playoff team in Phil. Talk about the Mets.
Yeah, so Mets right now sitting 48-37, game and a half back of the Phillies in the East. I mean, just looking at the record, it's a good season so far, but I mean, like it's been so backwards from all the preseason like expectations. Like before the season, it was we're going to score 10 runs a game and we're going to be probably ending up winning games like 12-8, all these crazy scores, stuff like that. But it's been the opposite to start the season. We had the best pitching staff ERA wise in baseball for the first 2-ish months of the season, and the offense was just like squeaking by with just enough runs to get through, like mostly on the back of Pete Alonso, who was just tearing it up to start the season. But I mean, now in June, it's it's falling off. The wheels are falling off, especially on the pitching staff. We've got injuries left and right to our bullpen and the starting staff. Guys like David Peterson, who like just started so strong, he's fallen off the rails too. Like I don't. He threw a complete game. Not to shout out the Nationals, but he threw a complete game shutout against the Nationals, and then since then he's got an ERA of I think it was like north of 6, or sorry, no, it was close to 7.5
We broke them.
in like the last 3 starts. Yeah, I don't know what happened, dude, but it's the team ERA is now at a 4.8, which is good for 26th in the league in the month of June. So I mean, just like it's been rough, and yeah, it's got to do with the injuries. Guys like Paul Blackburn and Frankie Montas have to pitch now too. We're just like trying to straggle together bullpen arms. It's been rough. It's like what can you do with the injuries? You kind of just got to hope that these guys come back healthy. Guys like David Peterson kind of like at least average out a little bit and get a little bit better. Just try to like get us through. I think that it also kind of falls on some of those young guys like Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos. Mark Vientos coming back, so hopefully he'll be able to show some production. But like it's been largely on the offense on the backs of a super hot start by Lindor and Alonso, Soto having a monster June, and then like a guy like McNeil has been decent. Marte's been a little bit better as of late, but like there's not production throughout the whole lineup, and it's putting a lot of stress on a pitching staff that was never expected to do what they did to start the season. So it's been tough, but I think overall, I think it's kind of hard to grade the season because, like I said, it's backwards from what you expected. Like the offense was way worse than you expected, other than a few like blow up, like shootout games, and this pitching staff's been way better. I think I got to fall somewhere in like a C plus B minus range because, like I said, we're still 11 games over 500, so it's not bad baseball. It's just a matter of I think averaging out and playing more consistent baseball, and I think that we can easily make a run for the East. So I'd say like as of for the first half, like C plus B minus. But Dylan, you want to give us a rundown of the Yankees?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're catching you at a rough time, Phil, after that Pirates series. That's a tough watch.
Yeah,
Mm.
that blows.
But the Yankees, if I had to grade their season, I'd give them a B plus. It's been good, but it could be so much better. It's frustrating looking at these stats. We're at 48 and 35. MLB.com says our expected record should be 53 and 30, and I can see why. We are first in the AL in almost every in OPS, obviously slugging, OPE, on base percentage. We lead. We have the most walks in the AL by 41 as a hitting team. So a lot of that's going to be the Aaron Judge factor. And you saw that, I mean, 28 inning scoreless streak coincides with Judge not hitting well. So the team, as it's always been, has been a little bit too reliant on Judge to get it done. And then we shoot ourselves in the foot so many times on the base pass. The defense hasn't been great. And then the clutch hitting is just miserable. So that's kind of puts a damper on it. But the pitching has, and the other part where I'm frustrated is because it's like we're good, but we could be so much better. The pitching, you got Will Warren, way better than expected, and his stats would be way better than they already are if it wasn't for the Dodgers game and the Red Sox game, where I think he probably gave up 14 runs each. It felt like, but we're probably a top three staff in the AL, and we're I think the best offense in the AL, but we don't have the best record, and we're the third best record. The Rays are knocking on the door, and I'm a little bit scared about them, but they have to play a lot of away games, so I'm not too worried about them. Big series coming up starting tonight in Toronto, so we need to knock that out. But I mean, you look at versus teams above 500, we're 19 and 15. Versus at home, we're 26 and 17, and away we're 22 and 18. So we're winning away, we're winning home. I like that consistency, but I just want to see us stop getting picked off at second base. There's just no excuse for that, and it happens back to back night. That's just sloppy. A lot of people don't like to throw it on the manager. I'm going to throw it on the manager. I don't like Aaron Boone. I think this team, when a lot of this team's mistakes have been this team's like downfall since Aaron Boone has been the manager. And I know the manager doesn't do a lot, but it's hard to not blame Aaron Boone when it's the same brand of baseball the Yankees have always been playing. But overall, it's hard to complain too much when, Paul has to root for the Nationals. So it could always be worse.
I was gonna say you're talking about lack of clutch hitting and bad just kind of fundamental baseball. It reminds me a lot of like just the Vols. This is just Vols
Yeah.
baseball. They're gonna smack the ball around. They're gonna print pitchers you've never heard of into throwing 100. Like there's a lot of that, but it's almost like they're too good. I don't know, too good, but too focused on that kind of next level stuff that you forget like, oh yeah, I need to be running on contact with 2 outs, or just like, yeah, I shouldn't get picked off at second base just for no reason when I'm not even stealing. Like it's kind of a lot. That's a lot what we see with the Vols, and it's so frustrating because you're like, this team is so good. Like you can tell this team is good, and then they just shoot themselves because Dean Curley threw it in the dugout. The kind of
Yep.
stuff.
It's like they do the big things so well, but the little things still matter.
Hmm.
And I really think that's what's keeping the Yankees back from the best record because I'm looking at the stats today and I just don't understand how the Tigers have a better record than the Yankees because all the hitting stats were better, the pitching stats were better. I take our top three players over their top three players. They have
Oh yeah.
Scooble, no doubt. But I think, we have a pitcher that lines up pretty well with him and Fried or Fried, however you say it. So yeah, I mean, like it doesn't make sense to me, but I think that's just credit to the Tigers and what AJ Hinch is doing over there.
I saw a stat literally today that said the Yankees are 0 and 19 in games where they go down by three or more runs.
Yep,
So, I
not
mean
a lot of
that's
resiliency.
yeah,
We're
that's
bad in
definitely
extra
one.
innings.
Yeah.
Like it, and for me, that's I I have trouble finding out answers other than just leadership and Aaron Boone maybe should be back in a broadcast booth.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
people might get mad, be like, "You guys are in first place, 13 over 100, like, or 13 games over 500. Like, don't worry about that stuff." But like, that's the stuff that does matter in the playoffs.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that
Absolutely.
is the playoffs. Like, that's why I don't know.
Fifth
If
inning,
you're
game
doing that,
five
I'm going to take the
of the World
Tigers in a
Series.
5, 7 game
That's all
series
you
over the
need to
Yankees
say.
because I trust. You get Scooble at least twice. That's tough. And Yankees, yeah, not showing a lot of fight back. They kind of make a lot of small errors. It cost them in the World Series. I mean, that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to say, but yeah, like that stuff compiles, and like come October, that matter. Like it doesn't matter maybe as much in June, but like if you don't fix it now, like
I like our starters a lot more than the Tigers. I think our starting pitching is a lot better than the Tigers. Flaherty is I think he looks off. I think the Tigers need to go and get some starting pitching because I do think that yeah, I Rodon is a very strong number two in the league. He gets a lot of hate. He's got to keep the emotions under check, which is frustrating to say about a grown man making hundred millions of dollars, but the emotions can sometimes get to him. The heat got him to him in Cincinnati, but he had a great start. Um, but yeah, it's been a great so far, but it could be better, and that's kind of the frustration.
Well, talking about teams that need to make some moves, uh, what kind of moves do we think our teams should make at the deadline? I know there's some pitching out there, but not really. Teams probably got to get creative and maybe look for some younger controllable pieces if they want to go the starting pitching route. There's going to be a few expiring bats available, kind of various positions, but I guess Paul will go back around the round table. What do the Nats need to do? I know they're not trying to acquire probably expiring deals. You said they're trying to
mm.
get rid of them, but what do the Nats want to do at the deadline?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they did any even kind of soft buying, getting a guy with multiple years. Probably would surprise me. So it's definitely going to be expiring deals or guys with 2 to 3 years left that you really just don't see in your future. I'm just going to go with the easy one. Kyle Finnegan, last year, his deal. He's going to end up somewhere that could use a closer, at least some late inning guys. For me, I went with the Brewers. Kyle Finnegan to the Brewers. They're at the bottom 12 or so in the league in bullpen ERA, up in the fours. They're always able to print some pretty good arms. Like I don't know how many of y'all even knew about Jacob Mizorowski before he get up. Did y'all?
I
Only
knew a
from the
little bit
show.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the show. Yeah.
Spring breakout.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That program in particular.
yeah.
Yeah, I like he comes up and he's throwing 102 and no one can hit him. Like I'm like, all right, shit. Why was he doing that at AAA the whole time? Whatever. But yeah, give me Cal Finnegan to the Brewers. And really, with this kind of like with like non-star trades, like it could be anyone past their top like 10 prospects. Like it could be literally anyone. So it's hard for me to predict. So give me Blake Burke. Just cut it.
Yeah.
The former Vol, 17th in their system. MLB.com hasn't updated their list in a while. He's probably still around that kind of 15 range. He's been raking at Double A. I mean, the Nats, they need. I was gonna say they need bats, they need arms, they need coaches, they need owners, they need everything. But so just give me good baseball players. Blake Burke's a good baseball player. He's not gonna play great defense. Maybe a manageable first, but we could use that. We could definitely use that. He's in Double A right now. He's probably a year or so from the big leagues. I mean, I don't think. I mean, we know how good a hitter Blake Burke is. He's
Yeah,
not
he's
just
been
powerful. He's patient. Like he might take him a month or two to get used to AAA, but after that, he's gonna figure it out. That's a guy I want him playing first or DH in, a year from now. Calvin expiring deal, got to get something for him. And then I just have Casey Hunt, just a back end of their top 30 arm, just a lottery pick. Just, what do you got kind of guy. But yeah, Nick, what do you got first, Cubs wise? I assume buying.
Have to buy. And it's kind of interesting because talk about like soft buying, getting creative. We had the Michael Bush deal last year that I think a lot of teams were, or a lot of around the league were like, oh, they're trying to make a move here. We had to give up two top 100 prospects for Michael Bush. So even then, like our system was that deep in general. Zaire Hope looking like he's going to be a stud, so we may have gotten fleeced there. But Michael Bush has been a great player in general this season, so can't really take too much there. But it's got to be arms. I think starters, as I talked about at the beginning of our program here, got to get some starters. Justin Steele going down puts a big hole, kind of leaving Shota all by himself as a top line guy. Matt Boyd has done a good job at kind of creating, lifting the floor, I would say there. So have loved what I've seen from Matt Boyd. Shota, I hope can kind of bounce back now after the injury, but the rest of the rotation, Ben Brown was just sent down to AAA last week. Colin Ray's been putting up mid starts back and forth. He started off really well, and then between some injuries to some depth guys and kind of just a revolving door, Jamison Tyone has been, we're paying him 20 something million dollars to be, So I just in general, we need to get some arms, whether they're rentals or, like I said, kind of a creative, maybe a younger, cost-controlled guy that we can kind of push to the fifth starting spot. I have a couple fantasy trades that are never going to happen, but give me Brian Hayes, Mitch Keller, and David Bednar. The Pirates shop all of our little spots. We'd have to give up probably two or three top 100s just right off the rip. Brian Hayes doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because he has so many years left and he's not like he's not an impact bat. If we're gonna get a hitter, I'd rather have him like be bad at defense and hit. Brian Hayes is kind of fits the Cubs model of getting gloves, but his bat is not that much better than Shaw's. My other fantasy trade, give me Bregman. We were supposed to get him, we didn't get him. The Red Sox aren't really doing much. Give me Bregman and Aroldis Chapman. Come back to Chicago. Just a reliever that provides closing experience. Trying to knock on all my little points there. Again, we'd probably have to send back at least a top 100, probably two for Bregman for the Red Sox to want to move him. I doubt they do. But my realistic trade, it's been rumored everywhere. The Cubs are the top of the list whenever this guy's mentioned, but it would be a deal with the Marlins. I think we match up with what they want. Sandy Alcantara, even though the stats have been not great, even though he's been better as of late, so now the cost has gone up. I think if we could get Sandy, and then I threw Edward Cabrera in there too. He's a younger pitcher. Cubs can figure out pitching for the most part. I love what they've done with relievers in the past. Talk about kind of finding guys. We don't spend on relievers, so we've kind of had to create our own. So Sandy, Alcantara, and Edward Cabrera from the Marlins, and four guys going back. Top 100 prospects. We have a plethora of them. Let's send James Triantos. He's a second baseman, outfielder. We got Nico, we got PCA. He's probably best at second or in center. So James Triantos will probably be moved. I don't know if it's in a deal for starting pitching or maybe a really good reliever, but we'll send him. We'll send Owen Casey. Kind of sucks, but I think the Marlins will hang up the phone unless they get either him or Alcantara. I think they'd prefer the lefty. And I've got another arm in there, just kind of anyone. I picked a AAA reliever. The Iowa Cubs bullpen has actually been nails this year, so they can kind of take whoever they want from there. I have former Yankee prospect Jack Neely going back, and then a lottery ticket, a guy that I really like. So it'd be sad, a former Tennessee Vol commit, but got drafted by the Cubs last year. Ty Southestein, the shortstop from Nevada. He's 5'9". The hit tool's good. The rest of the tools are average, but he'd be kind of that lottery ticket, quote unquote. He's only 19. He's at single A right now. So a guy that the Marlins could use. Their system's kind of old, so they could use some younger non-international guys to kind of move up quick. But it's going to be a big package if you're getting Sandy, former Cy Young, kind of has good strikeout numbers, not so much this year, but just in general. So definitely pitching, but that's my mock.
Who was in that Pirates deal again? Because I heard Brian Hayes and David
Yeah,
Bednar, and then the multiple top 100s. I was like,
yeah,
I don't
Mitch
think you need to
Keller
give up
too.
on
Mitch Keller. If they're gonna
that.
trade a starting pitcher, they
Okay, okay.
probably and his stats have been fine. He's like similar to Tyone in the sense of
Hmm.
just gonna give you depth, but that I don't
That
know.
might be
Again,
one
fantasy
top
trade.
100. I think they would
Even
like.
better
I
than
forget how
that.
many years Key Bryant's got, but like he's not good. Like I.
Chris Christian Hernandez was the number two piece. He's like a
Hmm.
fringe top 100. So I guess I had
Yeah.
Owen Casey and Christian Hernandez, and then some good minor leaguers kind of across the board. I agree with you though. I just don't think the Pirates would want to move all
Hmm.
that in one go. They could probably get more value by splitting all those guys up.
I don't
So
know. I think it might be cheaper than you think. I don't know. Just to get off Key Bryant. And Mitch is pretty good. I don't know how many years Mitch Keller has.
I think he has two left, but he's kind of expensive. He signed like
That's what I was about to say.
he signed a
Yeah.
5 year 100, I think it was, or five
Hmm.
year 80 maybe. So he's not cheap salary wise.
Hmm.
It might somewhere in there. But David Bednard is just again
I'm not
guy with
sure about
closing
him. He's
experience.
been better this year, yeah.
Just threw out some names. I like mock trades, so.
Hmm. Hmm.
But Phil, Mets need something. All these injuries, they need to get something. What are they going to get?
Yeah, I really, I mean, I said it preseason or during the offseason, I guess I said it too, but I would really like bona fide starter. And like you said, Alcantara's not been that this year, but like you said, better of late. I would like to see him potentially have an all-star second half for the Mets. That would be super electric. I would love that so much. I think that would put our staff in a fantastic spot. If like I said, if a guy like David Peterson kind of mellowed out a little bit, came back to average. So we like Clay Holmes has been good still this year. Kodai Senga comes back and he's good. I mean, I think we if with Alcantara, if he ended up having a good second half, I think it'd be a good staff. But I mean, I think some just like kind of mix it up a little bit. I think a guy like Merrill Kelly has been pretty good this year. He's got he's got an ERA of 3.49 this year, 17 starts. He's been pretty good. He's got a lot of innings so far. It looks like he's going to blow his innings, like his season innings record, I guess, out of the water a little bit. Which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, considering how old he is. But he's got a little bit of postseason experience, and he's been solid. So I mean, 24 innings, 2.25 ERA in the postseason. Um, I think that would also be. I think it would be cheaper. And it would also, I think, just like the overall postseason experience would be really good, especially just considering the kind of pitching staff we have right now with young guys coupled with guys who have not started before, and if they have, probably not in the postseason. So definitely starting pitching because I still am not 100% sold on the fact that this best pitching staff in the league the first couple of months is going to go all the way through October, especially. So getting some guys who can like be feared starters um, in the postseason is going to be super important because, like I said, I think the offense is going to do what the offense does. Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, like they're gonna produce runs. I'm not too worried about that. It's more about the pitching. I think we need guys who can go a little bit deeper into games, especially in those high leverage spots. Get the game to Reed Garrett, Edwin Diaz in the seventh, in the eighth, and ninth inning, and kind of close the door. But that's been like the issue is getting it there. So I think I'd love to see Sandy Alcantara, like I said, an electric second half would be awesome. But I think a guy like Merrill Kelly could be serviceable and do a job and be able to help our staff kind of be effective through the second half and hopefully into the postseason. Maybe not the guy who's gonna be the face of the staff, but I think he could be a solid um, two or three, especially down the stretch. Dylan, what
Dylan,
do you
what about
got
the
for us with the
Yankees?
Yankees?
Yeah, I'm a pick on the Diamondbacks too. I think we're both hoping they keep faltering. They haven't had a great week. My dream scenario is Eugenio Suarez comes and plays third base
Hmm.
for us. He's been amazing this year. Should have been an All-Star finalist to start at third. Unfortunately, he wasn't. But I would love to see him and Shelby Miller. He's having a good, crazy that name's still in the league, but he's having a good year. I'd love to see him come over to the Yankees. We need an infielder, whether he plays second or third. Ideally, in my opinion, he plays third so that Jazz can move over to second where he's more used to playing, and I think he's better there. If we can't get Suarez, which I think there is a chance that the Diamondbacks just try and send it, even if maybe they shouldn't. I think there's a chance that they don't offload the talent. Um, Ryan McMahon, the glove is great. How the bat plays outside of that stadium is going to be interesting. But he's made some adjustments to his swing this year that has him pulling the ball in the air a little bit more. And Yankee Stadium, lefty that pulls the ball in the air, I'm going to sign up for that. And then the relievers, I love David Bednar. He's having a really good year. Dennis Santana actually was a Yankee last year. And then IKF, another former Yankee, where he can play anywhere on the field. The bat is going to be, he's not going to walk, but he's going to put the ball in play, which I think honestly is a little bit of something the Yankees need. I think, the clutch situation, I'd rather you not strike out, and IKF doesn't do a lot of striking out. So the problem with the Yankees trade situation is that the farm system is really bad. It's probably one of the worst in the league. I'd honestly be cool with parting with anyone not named George Lombard Jr. Um, Spencer Jones just got moved up to AAA. Not a believer. So, and I really don't see how he gets reps in the outfield because I just don't see the path for him. So I'd be cool with Spencer Jones going if we could get Eugenio Suarez. Helsley is an interesting one because I don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. And he has been a lot worse this year than he has been in years past. But I think most likely what the Yankees will do is they'll grab a reliever that isn't a big name, but they like his stuff. And honestly, I'm just going to trust that because they've already traded a lot for Devin Williams, who has been better recently, but was so bad to start the year. But I mean, Luke Weaver, dog. And he was starting games for us like a nobody. And there's a Clay Holmes has been good, was good for us in the past, wasn't really known as a top line reliever. So I do trust the development team to go out and grab a guy that could be starting games for someone right now and turn him into a good reliever. So I'm more hoping for Eugenio Suarez if I had to just choose one.
I think McMahon could be a fun one. Just a lot of ex-Rockies, just being able to not like because playing in cores isn't like going to and from cores just messes with everyone because the ball moves different, the elevation like changes everything. Like just a guy like that, like it might sound in theory like he's gonna get kind of worse leaving cores, but I don't even think so. I
Yeah.
forget what I was talking about. I think his splits are almost as good. It might be better away from cores just because breaking balls aren't breaking as much, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of guy that yeah, you see he pulls fly balls, Yankee Stadium, short right field. Like that's a guy I think that could be
Plus
fun.
playing on a competitive team. I mean, we saw that
Yeah.
with Jazz last year. Jazz came over and was way better with the Yankees than he was with the Marlins. And I think there's something to that. Tommy Edman going from
Mhm.
the Cardinals to the Dodgers. I mean, you cannot tell me that the vibes in the Yankees clubhouse are not infinitely better than in that Rockies clubhouse. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be rough in there. And not to mention, you look at that Rockies lineup, you're probably circling Ryan McMahon. You put him in the Yankees lineup, and there's a lot of guys that you are worrying about before you get to his name. And
Mhm.
I think he stands to benefit from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
I like the moves a lot. I think all of our teams have kind of are in interesting spots. We got three going to buys and one team that maybe you can get an exciting piece back, Paul.
Yeah.
Something for the
Dylan, you
future,
want
like you
Kyle
said.
Finnegan?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Y'all, didn't y'all non-tender him or something?
Yeah, he was
Yeah, but
non-tendered
then we
and
brought
then
him back.
re-signed.
And,
No one remembers that though.
yeah.
But with that, some teams that have good players, we've talked about maybe some players that we want to trade and cherry pick off of other teams. But let's go to the All-Star teams. Coming up soon here, obviously, as we inch towards July. July 1st tomorrow marks the month of the draft, the March of uh, All-Star weekend. Very excited about that. What we got, though, is going through the finalists, some guys maybe that we thought should have been finalists. We're going to talk about all those here. Going to kind of go position by position, though. I know that some of them are very obvious, specifically the catcher position. There's two guys that are much better than the others, stuff like that. But love to hear your guys' opinions on this. We can start with the AL catcher. It's Cal Raleigh or Alejandro Kirk. One of these
I
things is
think
not one of the
Kirk's
other.
having a great year. I think he's probably a little bit underrated. He's really good with the glove, and the bat's been good for a catcher. But
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, it's Big Dumper. Um, awesome name, awesome bat, great glove. What's not to love?
Yeah,
best
I don't think
player
there's
on that team.
yeah, it's just there's not much to talk about here. Kirk will be a nice, reserve, and he deserves it. But Cal Raleigh's been Cal Raleigh. Not much to say there. No one really snubbed at this spot. I think we can probably move on. We're probably in
Yeah.
agreement. And NL's most likely the same story. Do we have any Carson Kelly lovers here? I know we
Yes.
won,
Yes.
I'm
He was
I'm
so
actually going to hate
good.
on Carson Kelly. I think Hunter
but
Goodman should have been the other
Yes.
finalist.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Actually, yes. 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 I
I
agree
People
full
are going to
time.
say he's a all-star just because he's a Rocky. I don't think that's the case. I
no.
think he's been really good.
I
And
looked at his stats. I looked at his splits. He's better away than he is
Yeah.
at home.
mm,
yep,
Like a good amount better. He 100% deserved it. I think
He
that's a pretty big snub, to be honest.
I
But
don't know.
I mean it's still hard to argue with Will Smith behind the dish
I'm
there.
going Will Smith over Hunter Goodman for the starter. So I don't care as
Yeah,
yes.
much
yeah,
about that
Mhm.
snub because I don't feel like he got cheated out of the starting spot.
Yeah.
yeah. That's fair.
But as far as like as a reserve, who are you taking? I'm looking at it now. I mean, yeah, Kelly's played 23 less games. That's kind of one of the knocks on him. But he's matched him in WAR. He's got a 15-point better WRC plus. Both are pretty good with the glove. I could see like Goodman, like I could definitely see the argument for Goodman. He's got more power. He's playing more, which does matter.
Yeah.
It does matter. He's basically played every day. I don't know how much
Yeah.
of that's just DHing, but I think I'd lean Kelly. I mean, he's played, almost 3 weeks less worth of games, and he's matching them. And as far as like WAR, he's hitting better. Did he get hurt in there, Kelly, or does he just not play every single day?
He missed a couple of games, but his start to the season was so strong that most of his home runs, most of his extra base hits have happened in like the first month and a half, two
Mhm.
months. Miguel Amaya has also our other catcher. He's been hurt for almost a month and a half. So maybe part of that is Carson Kelly's regressing a little bit because he's having to play more. The carjacker can only play so much baseball, so that's our other
Mhm.
catcher right now is Reese McGuire, who has been good in a very small sample size. So it'll be interesting to see when Miguel Amaya comes back if they decide to carry three catchers. Vidal Brujan's not doing very much, and John Birdie's kind of been relegated to a pinch runner. So especially if they go out and get a third baseman, that'd be interesting. But to go back to the main point, Carson Kelly, his first half was so good that maybe that's carrying him here. Also, Cubs fans probably just voted for him because he's a Cub.
Mm.
Hunter Goodman, though, has had a great season. And um, I think whether, like you said, Paul, whether he is the only Rocky or not, he probably deserves at least consideration here. I'm fine with Carson Kelly not being an all-star as much as it. Sorry, Carson.
Yeah, we'll come back to that with the reserves. Yeah, Goodman might just get it because someone's got to go from the Rockies. But yeah, let's start talking some AL first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. versus Paul Goldschmidt. I think we're all in agreement. Let's just look at Dylan in case though.
This one made me sick to my stomach to see Goldschmidt in there. I love you, Goldschmidt. You're having a good season. But how is Jonathan Aranda?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How is he not a finalist?
Rays
That's
fans.
Is he the number three though? If they pick three, maybe next year they should do three finalists. It would make more sense
They
to
should
have
just
a
not
third
even
guy in there.
fan vote.
Rays fans should just wake the fuck up and vote for their
There's
all.
just not enough of them. There's not enough to compete
Why
with
is
the
everyone on the
whole
ballot,
country
is
of
my opinion.
Canada
Yeah,
and New York City. They're
there's
fried.
guys. There's guys that aren't even qualified that are on the ballot.
Yeah.
Lots of
When you can do a
players, so
fill-in. So if
yeah.
you wanted to vote Paul Goldschmidt for center field,
you could.
in theory, you could make that vote. And like that's just it. It's stupid in my opinion.
You think
I think if every Rays fan out there voted the maximum every day for a month, they still might not even catch up. Like it's just there's just no way for them to do it. Like Jonathan Aranda has been awesome. Also, like if he was named Evan Longoria, maybe because then more casual guys would be like, okay, I like him. Like I know about Evan Longoria.
more of a superstar name. Yeah,
Like if you're kind of a casual, like if we asked our baseball group chat before the year, like if we had, we could time travel. There's probably six guys. They're gonna be like, yeah, I know who Jonathan Aranda is. That's probably too many.
Sure.
That's probably
He
too many.
needs a better
That's probably
card in the
too
show.
He
that's
he
why.
needs a
No,
player of the
I don't
month
understand.
card that
I just
rate.
don't understand how you're going through the vote list and you're like people just go and look at the names. Like they have this like the basic stats right there for you to look at. You can't
He's an
just
A
see
too. He's at the
Aranda's
top of the list.
300
Yeah.
with an
He's
OPS.
right
Like,
there.
come on, man. Come on. You gotta be better than that.
I think most people do just kind of go on and vote for every Yankee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the biggest names.
That's kind of just what they do,
their
and I
favorite,
don't
their
blame them.
favorite team all the way through.
Yeah, but like if you're voting for like if you're voting for Vinny Pasquantino over like Jonathan Aranda, like you're not even like doing a good
You're
cause.
not watching the games.
That's like voting independent in the election. Like that's cute. Like thanks for nothing, you know. But I think we're all in agreement on Vladdy. Goldie we'll talk about with the reserves. That's kind of a tough one.
Yeah.
Just a lot of reserve spots to fill. But anyway, we'll jump to NL first baseman Freeman and Alonso. I think this one's a pretty good one. This is the best discussion so far. What do we got?
I think it's good. I obviously have Pete. He's my boy.
I wonder why. No.
I think to be completely honest, he's been worse as of late over the last like month or so, and he's still batting close to 3,000 with an OPS over 900, which is his OPS, I believe, leads first baseman. So his stats are still there as far as being this qualifying for the starting role, and he's been worse as of late.
Freeman's been bad lately too. So it's they're both kind of on slumps at the same time.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I would definitely go Alonso too. Even if the OPS, I think the OPS has always been close as I've been monitoring the race. But Alonso, a lot more damage with the home runs, and then the RBIs has been significant, 20 plus more RBIs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know people don't love that stat anymore, but like at a certain point, production has to matter.
Mhm.
And Alonso has been a lot more productive, especially at a spot like first base. You need RBIs from first base, and Alonso's been better at that.
Yeah,
I have Alonso as well.
no. Yeah, it's a bad first position. First off, how did he steal a base? Phil, who let Pete Alonso steal a base?
Dude, he gets sneaky with it. He's got probably caught twice though. You got it up in front of him. He thinks
Respect the
he's
balls to
slick
try.
sometimes, and he'll take off like he's like, oh yeah, I got this thing timed down. He'll take off. The pitcher's like, what? It steps off and throws him out. So he'll sneak a few bags, a handful of bags over the course of a year. But
He's got Freeman in the steals category. So shit,
dang.
he's got my vote. No, but yeah, he's the best WRC of any first baseman in the league. He's got about 13 games on Freeman, but he's still been better, just like pace wise, better numbers, beating him in WAR by a solid enough margin. Freeman's been awesome. He's almost a lock to be a reserve, I'd figure. I mean, they get kind
Mhm.
of weird about like the corner spots because you can only fit so many first basemen. But there's probably like the two best. But even then, the race is probably not. We'll see who wins, like who actually gets more votes. But Pete's been better. Pete's been better. But we'll move to AL second baseman. This one kind of sucks, actually. No. But worse, Gleyber Torres and Jackson Holiday. Uh, I don't even know what to say. Jackson Holiday's okay. Gleyber
Someone's got to
Torres.
start there, so Glaber.
Yeah.
Yeah, like someone has to play second base. Gleyber's been good. Like we're shitting on it, but actually Gleyber's been good.
Yeah.
That
I
was
also kind of wanted to give a shout out to Lau with the Rays.
Yep.
He's been pretty good
yeah,
this
yeah.
year too. I think he kind of got shorted a chance to. I don't know if he gets the starting spot, but he's been good.
Mhm.
He's been
A little bit biased. Jazz is a weird case. Jazz has been really good since he came back from the injury, but he hasn't
Mhm.
played a ton. And since he came back from injury, he's been playing third. So it's kind of like a weird one. I'm not saying he should be a finalist,
Yeah.
but just kind of like a shout out. Like his numbers slagged a little bit before the injury, but he comes back from the injury and he's been a major piece of the Yankees kind of righting the ship with that 28 inning scoreless streak. So I'm not saying he should be a finalist, but he does deserve a little bit of love there, and especially in such a weak position.
Mhm. No,
That's what I was
I
gonna
almost threw
say.
him on my reserves list because he had like he's like right there with Torres in terms of like WRC. He's not even that
Mm-hmm.
far in WAR. He's only zero point 0.4 behind in WAR in what almost 20 less games. But yeah, I think Jazz probably won't make it, but he definitely deserves a shout, even if his position is kind of ambiguous. They don't update the ballots enough, and I know it's kind of weird too, but like there's guys that don't even start for their teams anymore as soon as like a month ago. Like
well. They
still
do
on
it off the
like
opening day roster, don't they? They just like send
Yeah.
the opening
I
day
think so.
roster
Like I
through
haven't checked in a while, but like I'm not voting for Paul DeJong to play third in the All-Star.
it.
He hasn't played since April because the Pirates caved his face in. Like I'm not voting for him. And I think it's a lot of
That's what the
different
write-in tool was
positions.
for, dude.
Yeah, and I know it's kind of hard to update the ballot. Like I don't know how they code it or whatever, and like you got to transfer the votes to another position, that kind of. But like it makes no like Jazz probably shouldn't even be on the second base ballot if he still is. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
That's
mean they
just
did it next day for Devers.
Yeah.
but yeah. I guess they had to get him. They got him across leagues, which is a little different. But did they keep him at DH? I think so.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
they
I
just
mean he's
transfer
just
the
been
votes.
DHing.
Yeah, because he's a fat fuck. But this episode's rated PG
I was
13.
gonna say.
Anyway.
Add a disclaimer on it now.
But yeah, let's move to NL second baseman. Probably not a tough one either. Ketel Marte, Tommy Edman.
The
Yeah,
first
Edman's
one.
been pretty good, but
But tell Marte easy.
you know, not much to say.
I
No
was
one
gonna
say
say
anything about
second
the
base is kind of
Mohawk.
boring.
Brendan
Yeah.
Donovan having a good year for the Cardinals, but a little bit
Mhm.
similar situation with Jazz where it's where do you put him because he plays a
Mhm.
lot of left field, he plays a little
Yeah.
bit of everywhere, but he's had a good season. And to that note, Tommy Edman plays a
Center.
lot of different places for the Dodgers too. He's played a lot of center. So, but yeah, Ketel Marte is pretty much the easy one. Just know your mom jokes at the All Star game.
Yeah. The,
Yikes.
the utility guys are so hard because,
Yeah,
like, as far as like Gold Glove, like stuff like awards, they can kind of make their own category for them. But like, what do you do about like an All-Star game where like you got to put out a lineup? Like, where do you
Yeah,
put
you got to put.
put them where they're supposed to be? But like, what if a guy's played just barely less left field than second, but he'd win left and not win second? That kind of weird stuff. Like, it's like you feel bad for the guys almost, especially if they get put at a spot where they're like, well, he can't win here. But no, Marte deserves it at least. At least it's not like close. But AL third baseman, we got Jose Ramirez and Alex Bregman. Probably would have been if Bregman was healthy. That's a close one. It's not anymore.
Not anymore.
But
yeah, you can vote him in. He's not going to play.
I think people still are. I mean, they're still voting for him just cause. Fair.
Well, I'm
I
pretty
mean, you
sure
got to
it's
give
like
him the All
Jose
Star.
Ramirez, and if you don't have Alex Bregman, it's like a cliff. Um, so I think Jazz probably makes the All Star game because of that,
Mhm.
but that's more reserve talk than anything. Or well, Michael Garcia has been good for the Royals too.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah,
Those
that's the
lines
thing. When
hard
you
for a
play in
Jazz.
Kansas City, so you're kind of screwed, but like
Yeah,
you deserve some shout. He might, I think he'll make the reserves. We'll see.
he
But
should.
yeah, let's talk. This is probably the best race of any of them. Manny
Yeah.
Machado versus Max Muncy. And I went Machado, but then it was so close. And then you all also picked Machado, and I wanted to start something. So I swapped to Max Muncy. But it really is so close. Like Muncy's played a little less, and then he got hurt in there. He like, he was really bad for like the first month or so, and then he got glasses, and he's awesome. It was that simple. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. I mean, it's close.
I mean,
I
I
the
just
glove.
dislike the Dodgers, so I picked Manny Machado.
That's your right. That is your right. So,
The glove for Muncy's pretty bad.
mhm.
He should probably be a first baseman or a
Yes.
DH. Machado's glove isn't what it used to be. So I think Machado's defense is probably a little bit overrated, but
Mhm.
it still leagues better than Machado. But I was also very surprised at how close one this was. And just a quick shout out to Eugenio Suarez, who should be the actual starter because
Yeah.
he's got better stats than both of these guys. And I
Yeah.
don't think his glove is that much worse than Machado.
Yeah. Also, like I don't really care about the glove. Like All-Star voting, like throwing defense in All-Star voting is like woke nonsense. Like if I'm talking ball with a guy and he does that, I'm like,
It's very hard to measure defense too.
that too. Yeah.
Like I would have to watch every
Mhm.
Dodger game, I mean, I just know that Muncy sucks at fielding because
does his
dude
show
started an All
rating
Star
is like
game at
30.
second and first. So
Mhm. Your gut's low key more important than any defensive number, especially in like half a season. Because defense already like season to season so volatile. Like a guy can be a Gold Glove candidate one year and then just suck. Like Luis Garcia Jr. was like a top five fielding second baseman last year, and that was just like awful. Like I just pray when it's hit at him. So like just you take that and then put it in like a 70 game sample size. Like I don't care. I really don't care. Just like how's he hitting? And it's really like offensively, it's still super close. Muncy's got a 137 or WRC. Machado's 135. WAR Machado's got the advantage, .03. That's kind of a defense thing mostly. Like it is so close that I'm not even saying like I would really take. I think either both are deserving. Like Muncy's been better the last like month or two because he was so bad to start, and then he got his glasses and he can see again. But I think he can go either way. And yes, Suarez should be the guy, but you know it's two tough fan bases to outvote in San Diego and Los Angeles. But yeah, are we in agreement on that? Probably
Probably
Machado.
Machado.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's go. AL shortstop, Jacob Wilson, Bobby Witt. Uh, it's a kind of a weird one. I think we're all gonna agree, but we'll see. What do you guys get?
Nick,
Maybe
go
we
ahead. What do
shouldn't
you got?
agree then. When you look at the
I
numbers.
I like Jacob Wilson a lot. I
Mhm.
think not only do the A's need an all-star, but it's kind of he's an interesting player that he doesn't strike out, and then it was all the wasn't hitting homers, but now he has a few. He's showing that he can hit slug a little bit. I think there's more slug in there as he progresses. He's also very young still, but very nice piece for the A's to kind of build around their team long term. But if talking about just all-star, it's gonna be kind of hard to convince people not to vote for Bobby Witt. I mean, he's just signed a huge contract for the Royals, but overall, just kind of a fun player. Was top pick in the draft, has a lot of pedigree. Obviously raked last year. I like Jacob Wilson, but I mean, it will probably be Bobby Witt, I think.
Okay, who would you like if it was your
I would
choice?
vote for I would vote for Jacob Wilson, and
Okay.
I did on my ballot, but I
Mhm.
think that I'm in the minority of the total MLB stratosphere.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Nick. I like Jacob Wilson. I think it's also just fun to see a guy like that come up like pretty much. I mean, not out of nowhere. I don't want to say that, but under the radar for sure. And have a year like he's having. Well, like you said, he's just. It seems like he's swinging a tennis racket. But he like it would be fun to see him play. He's got my vote as well. But I think you make a good point. you can't ever go wrong with Bobby Witt. He's fun to watch too. So I'm
Yeah.
not really upset either way. But
Yeah. Duran Duran just flashbanged in my mind when you said tennis Tiger. I'll look at it when we run it when I'm editing and just see me smirking while you say that. I I might actually think I don't know. Witt's better. Like Witt has like one WAR over him, but that's like defense and woke
Base
nonsense.
running.
Like we said, the base running, yeah, the base running's legit. 21 steals, leads or actually one behind Ellie De La Cruz, leads AL shortstops. The bat's a little behind. Wilson did better offensively. I don't know. That's again like I think this could go either way. I think you're underrating how much Jacob Wilson will get in the fan vote. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Jacob Wilson won the fan vote. Because you think about the stats that they show, like on that sheet, it's like average home runs, RBIs, OPS.
yeah,
Average, basically no one's touching them. Home runs, it's close. Witt's got 11, he's got 9. What RBIs here? Witt's got him by 3 in RBIs. And then OPS, I don't have that, but
I
it
think
looks it's
Wilson is
Wilson by
higher.
like 30 points, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you're just 50-year-old Greg voting on the All-Star game, you're a Yankees fan.
Greg shout out in the
Your son
pod.
Dylan is yelling at the team in the basement, you're just doing your thing. Uh, like I think Wilson might honestly pull that. I don't know, like Bobby Witt is a bigger name for sure, but I think Wilson's getting some love out there for being a rookie, doing what he's
Yeah.
doing. I don't know,
I don't
like
know, Dylan. What do you think about Jacob Wilson? Because you're giving him not so much love to start the season.
I I think that he should get voted in because I think it's his only All-Star game. I don't see how this lasts. I'm just going to be honest. Personally, I think Jeremy Pena should be starting it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he does what he's closer to Bobby Witt in the fielding and the base running, but he's been better than Bobby at the bat. Unfortunately, he did get hit by a pitch and he's out for 10 days. But Jeremy Pena would be who if I had any of the shortstops. But I would go Jacob Wilson with the starting. The bat's been better. Um, but I mean, it's hard to go against Bobby. I really like what Bobby brings to the ball field.
Mhm. That's a good discussion. I wasn't sure. Like when I was doing that, I just kind of didn't think about it, and I did Wilson. But I look at it like that'll be interesting. We'll see. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's in the next. I think it's July 2nd. The teams get announced, so we're gonna keep an eye on that one. But NL shortstops: Lindor versus Betts. This is a pretty easy one.
This
Mookie,
one actually
Keep it
sucked.
quick.
Like just looking at
yeah,
those
Mookie
stats,
Betts has a WRC below league average, actually, only by
it's
one.
so bad. I think Lindor got like the vote because he was so hot to start the year, but he's been like bad as of late, and
It'll be
it
him. It won't.
now it looks kind of crappy as far as like the other NL shortstops.
Yeah, if they vote in Betts to start the All-Star game, they need to remove the fan vote. He's just like bad right now. He's not even like Betts bad. He's just been like bad. We'll see though. I mean, I don't even want to think about it.
Shout
But
out
Two starters.
Lakota.
We got two starters. Come on.
yeah, let's talk some AL outfield. Aaron Judge is already locked in, so unfortunately we can't troll Dylan and leave him off. Very sad about that. But we got Riley Green, Javier Baez, Mike Trout, and then Steven Kwan. We got two guys here, two under the radar guys who are doing really well, and then two that are doing fine. But I think it's more of a name contest than anything for them, at least for one of them. But for me, I'll start off. I'm going Riley Green for the final. It's 2 spots for the final 2 starting outfielder spots. Riley Green and Steven Kwan. Those are the two putting up the best numbers. They're better fielders than the other two. I think Baez has been pretty good in center, but
Yeah.
Kwan's a Gold Glove guy. Green is he's above average at least. I mean, I think Trout, he shouldn't even be on it. I love my
Yeah.
Trout.
Yeah.
And then Baez, if he wasn't Javier Baez, he wouldn't be on here. I was gonna shit on him, but he's been good this year. He's like a 110 WRC. He's been a plus fielder in center. Like he's been good, but like he'll
He's
probably get a
the
reserve spot just
yeah.
because. But like, come on.
I was gonna say he's the
I want to see Baez
9 hole.
run around in the outfield, dude. That'd be
Yeah.
so lit. That'd be so funny.
Yeah.
He's the 9 hole batter on the best team in the American League by record. I think it's kind of like you said, kind of that's just they pushed him in there for that. I think
Yeah.
is having a good season, obviously compared to his last couple where just injuries and just bad baseball playing has hampered him. But I do enjoy seeing him run around the outfield. I think maybe that's a way to elongate his career is
Mhm.
being in the outfield. Though he does still have a strong arm, so maybe it's a corner. I don't know. He might lose
Yeah.
interest if they put him in left field. So
Yeah, they
we'll
can't
see.
risk messing up any. They cannot mess with what they've got going after like three straight just awful
Punch
years.
it.
Do not move him out the nine hole, no matter how well he is. Yeah, but who's your two gonna be, Nick?
That's how I did Riley Green, and then I agree with you that if Baez isn't named, if I think that the fans are going to vote for him, but
Okay,
if he doesn't get it, I think he'll still be a reserve. But
okay.
I picked the
I'd say
two
the argument for
Tigers.
him is like someone does have to play center.
Yeah,
Like Riley Green and Quan are both left fielders, and like who cares about premium defense in the All Star game? Like I really don't. Let Judge play center. Who cares? He's done it. But like Baez like is the best center fielder there probably. But
correct.
I think Baez will win, and I'm happy for him. And that's a good kind of fun to watch. But like, well, yeah. But Phil, what you got?
I'm contributing to the Baez numbers. I'm putting Baez out there, and I'm looking at
Fair,
you, Dylan.
fair.
But I mean, I think Riley Green is also like the consensus
Yeah,
like pick
Mhm.
behind Judge, so
Mhm.
I got him in there too. Well, so we're gonna have I got the Tigers out there with Judge,
Mhm.
but yeah,
I'd like to formally apologize to Byron Buxton. I don't know what you did to the fans. You're a name brand guy, and you've been playing like a stud. You play great defense, and we're looking at this roster, and we need a center fielder, and we've got Javi Baez over you. So I just want to apologize to Buxton. Um, but give me Riley Green and Steven Kwan. We'll throw Riley Green out in center. I don't want my baby boy Aaron Judge out in center field where he might get hurt. I mean, that sounds dangerous. So, but yeah, I mean, Javi, it's fun. And I will say there was like a week span where he kind of was like on the downfall. And I was like, okay, here we go.
I knew it. I
And
knew
then,
it.
and now he's back. And I mean,
Mhm.
he's about 800 OPS. So it's very impressive, the turnaround. Um, I mean, if I'm a pitcher, I'm still going to spam sliders and try and make an edit. But, you know, it is fun to watch.
Yeah.
I
As far as
also
like Buxton, I think there's a certain thing with guys that are like known to be injury guys. Like unless you're like Trout and like you had a lot of healthy years and now you get hurt a lot, like it's kind of like sad. Like people feel bad for you. But if you're like Buxton and like even when you're young you get hurt, like I hate this guy. Like this guy never plays. Like God, I take this guy in fantasy baseball and he gets hurt. Like grr. Like it's kind of like him,
Grr.
another twin, Royce
sure.
Lewis. It's like kind of these injury-ridden guys. Like they make people more mad than anything. I don't know if
Yeah.
that plays into it, or like you see his numbers like in the All-Star ballot, and you're like, yeah, I bet he's played 10 games. I'm not voting for him. I don't know, but like yeah, like that's a former top like two pick, top prospect in all of baseball. Like he's doing well. Like he'll be a reserve, but it's like, damn, like what's he got to do? You know.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think with NL outfield, we can probably keep it quick. I think we're all in agreement. Is it PCA Soto Tucker for everyone?
I don't know. Phil,
Rip
who do you
James
have?
Wood.
Rip
yeah,
James.
no,
R.I.P. James Wood.
That makes me so mad.
yeah. I mean, I kind of I made a lineup of the guys who I thought deserved it, and James Wood was definitely in there. But as far as who's left on the ballot, I got PCA, Soto, and Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we
mean
all have the
Acuna's
same.
played. Yeah, Acuna's played 20 games or so, maybe. Like
Yeah, I think it
he's
was.
been a
I
bit
think I
on the
looked at like
ballot.
35.
Yeah, and Pages, you're fine, but
You're a Dodger,
yeah,
and your
See,
Yeah,
stats aren't better.
Teoscar.
So
points off.
Let's go Cubbies though. Got two Cubbies. I think they're the right ones too. I have a little bit to talk about when we talk little snubs because there's somebody that's tied for the National League in RBIs that is not even going to make the All-Star team, which is just sad. Very sad. And
yeah.
his name is Seiya Suzuki. But I digress. I digress. What do we got now? ALDH. I don't know. Another Yankee possibly getting kicked to the curb, but Kind of
Yeah, we
sad.
should all be in agreement. Let's just look at his little corner, see if he has like a. I
I
object.
think Brent Rooker. I think Brent Rooker should be starting.
Okay,
Yeah.
But the
that's
Yankee
fair.
fans said
Valid.
Ben Rice. I don't agree with it. But
Dude,
yeah,
how does
Ryan
he get
O'Hearn.
voted in? He's batting two, I think it was 233.
The Yankees.
Because
Mhm.
he's got a
That's
fun last name,
insane.
buddy. Plays for the Bronx Bombers.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's been good too. He hasn't. He's been solid.
Yeah,
He's
he's
been
not
solid.
bad.
Considering his average is 233, he's
We don't worry
gotta
about
be
average.
slugging the
We don't
ball or
worry about
something.
average around here.
But dude, I
1935. We're
was like,
talking about
oh
batting
my God.
average.
If
I mean, you got to put the ball in play at some point, right?
you put
Yeah,
it over
but
the fence, maybe not. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he hits it very hard when he does make contact. But it's very easily Ryan O'Hearn
Mhm.
Hmm. Future something at the
because
deadline.
Devers got shipped to the National League. Shout
Valid.
out Brendan Coffin.
The options got
NLDH.
thin.
Nothing to discuss. NLDH should be
Otani.
anyone.
This fucking guy.
Should be Josh Bell. Should be Josh Bell. Yeah.
Reserve time. Let's go.
Yeah, we
Want
can
to
just
run through these quick? Yeah.
yeah, I
Run through
think
them quick.
the locks are I guess we'll don't even worry about injuries. Like Jeremy Pena probably won't even
Yeah.
go because he's hurt,
Yes.
but we'll include injured guys.
Check.
Pena, Witt Jr., Buxton, Kirk, probably Julio Rodriguez. He's been pretty good. That's probably five. Jonathan Aranda, probably
Yes.
a lock. And you got like five spots there that it kind of depends on your taste. It kind of depends what teams need people. What do you guys got filling there?
I'll let the
I thought
AL.
Springer's been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely
I don't know.
Springer.
Springer, you said Rooker. I think
Yep.
Rooker's
I
a
like
tough
that.
one just because of position, kind of like how many DHs can they put on this roster.
Last year they had a two DHs,
Mhm.
the All-Star team. It was like two DHs, six infielders, and then three outfielders.
Mhm.
So I made mine based off of just the exact off of last year. And then when they did the replacements, they kept it at those numbers.
Mhm.
So I kind of
Yeah.
did mine off of that. And then I had Joe Adell, George Springer, and Brian Buxton as my outfielders. Adell's a funny one. The outfielders, it's tough because you can make arguments for a lot of different guys. But I liked Adell. It's a cool story, so I went with him.
I'm not sure I did an Angel now I think about it. So Adele's a good pick because they kind of have to send someone, but they've been kind of weird. Like,
Send Christian Moore.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it might be Neto for them, but like they're weirdly like a good team, but like they might just put in Mike Trout because he's Mike Trout, but like who goes? That's kind of Adele's a good pick. I didn't even think about for that.
Taylor Ward, like the OPS isn't
Yeah.
great because the on base percentage is terrible, but the RBIs and the home runs has been good. But I think Adele is a little bit better than Trout. Numbers wise, he's definitely played more than Trout,
Hmm.
and numbers wise, I think he's better than Ward as well. And he gets that Angel on the roster.
Yeah. A weird one. I don't know if you guys knew how good he's been, but Zach McKinstry with the
Yeah.
Tigers
Yeah.
has been
Pick up on my fantasy team. He's been pretty good.
He's been
Yes, sir.
weirdly like I didn't even like. I figure I'm pretty in tune with everything going on in the league, and then I see Zach McKinstry's got like 2.5 WAR and a 120 WRC. I was like, what the hell? Like, when did this happen? I don't even know what position he plays for them.
I was
I
gonna
think
say
he's just a
the Tigers are
utility,
weird.
like platoon guy.
Yeah, I thought because he's usually been a second baseman, but that's Torres. Maybe he's at third. Like I don't even know where
Third.
he got the guy. Yeah,
Third and corner outfield when they
Yeah.
spell some other guys, I think.
yeah.
But no, he is having a sneaky good season.
Mhm.
And he might just get left off because of kind of name value, and they got to fit. Some White Sox got to be on the team, that kind of
I was
thing.
about to say the Tigers have plenty of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think sneaky, or not even sneaky, he's just good. But like another one that a team that needs someone, Junior Caminero for the Rays, hits bombs. He's got a pretty good offense. He's not great on defense, but who cares? It's the All-Star game. He's a guy that I think probably ends up on there. Just because who else do they really have?
Aranda.
Aranda has to be in the All-Star
Yeah.
game.
They're going to snub one of those two, I think.
I think they take two first basemen, and then you
And he'll
have,
beat him too.
including the starters, it would be Vladdy and Aranda.
Hmm.
I think that would be good. I mean, that's no Goldschmidt, but I'm fine with that being objective.
Yeah. I just feel like they're gonna pull some nonsense. They always kind of pull some nonsense with the little teams, and so like Michael Garcia been really good for the Royals. We talked about that. Isaac Paredes. Astros aren't really a little team, but like they can't put all three of those guys on. So who kind of gets bounced will be
Right.
the thing. I would think McKinstry of the group, but we'll see. We'll see. But I think we got a pretty solid group there. I mean, there's 11 reserves. We can't possibly predict everyone, but then we got a good group there. We got like five or so locks. We would
Yeah,
think locks. We'll see, I
pretty
guess.
much the guys who we all said got snubbed are kind of
Hmm.
in that
expected
list.
expected to be in that list. Yeah.
Yeah. And then NL, let's go do that. It's a little easier, I think, in the NL as far as like James Wood,
Yeah.
easy. Trey Turner, Corbin Carroll, he's hurt, but they'll at least get him on the team and they get him a reserve. Tatis, if Pajes doesn't win the fan vote, probably him. Dela Cruz. That's like the sit. Was that? Yeah,
They've got a
that's
lot of
six.
shortstops, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Yeah,
I
I
be
think
didn't
at
have
some point
Tatis as an all-star.
you don't.
I don't.
Mm.
I'm mixing in Kyle Stowers
Yeah.
Marlins. I think he's
If
kind of
Ooh,
got to
that's
be the Marlins guy.
I was gonna say
So I
they
think
need
he's going to
somebody.
be on the team. And then you've got to get James Woods in there. I didn't have Trey Turner. I had CJ Abrams over Trey Turner. Um,
Trey's been
Max
good.
Muncy is a guy, if he doesn't win the fan vote, I think he has to go in.
Mhm.
Eugenio Suarez is a guy we haven't mentioned for reserves yet that's got to go in. So, yeah, I didn't have – they have another DH is what they did last year, and I had
Mhm.
Kyle Schwarber making it as the
Yeah.
Phillies representative, but I also had Zach Wheeler making it, so it's not that they need the one, but
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of. I have Hunter Goodman sneaking in over Kelly,
yep.
which then I have another
Yes.
Rocky, believe it or not, actually. But
Jake
it's like
Bird?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of really. Who said no Trey Turner again? Who's
That was
I did.
top
Dylan's.
one? He's been Abrams has played less games, so it's kind of a tougher one. Like, how much do you value 10 more games? Like, who really cares? But like, Trey's been good.
NL
Yeah.
shortstop's tough, and then
Mhm.
like Ellie has probably been the best NL shortstop,
Mhm.
and then him and CJ Abrams, I think you could either or would be fine, but Ellie's got to make it, and then Lindor hopefully wins the fan vote over Mookie Betts, and Mookie Betts shouldn't sniff the team,
Mhm.
Please
but
don't stay hopefully, dude.
hey, Lindor has not been an all-star with the Mets. In case I needed to remind you, somehow,
Oh,
some
I
way.
know. I
You
know.
got voted for
Perdomo last
Mookie.
year,
I need
Mhm.
hilarious.
this. I need this.
I think Brendan Donovan. I almost forgot about. Like, I was thinking just like who's gonna be the backup second baseman. You don't like need a backup at each spot, but like you probably kind of do. And Brendan Donovan's
Well,
probably a good shout. He's played everywhere, but he deserves to make that team. There's definitely I think there's more guys in the NL. Like there's gonna be snubs in the NL, whereas in the AL there's probably guys that's like you were good, like you were good, not great. Like there's some
Yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
really good players that won't make the NL team.
Like Seiya
gonna make
Suzuki.
it.
He's tied for the lead in RB. He has 69 RBIs, and we're not
Nice.
even in July yet. He's tied for the lead in
Yeah.
RBIs.
No
It's
Carson
because he's a
Kelly. Does the
DH.
league hate the Cubs? Does the league
No,
hate the Cubs?
Carson Kelly's fine. He's never been a starting catcher. He's kind of always split time and been a backup. So
Hmm.
congrats to him for being a finalist. But Seiya Suzuki is just literally position. If Kyle Tucker did not exist in a Cubs uniform and he was the right fielder playing right field every day with the stats he has, he would probably make the All-Star team based on RBIs.
He
But
should
he's a
learn. He should
DH.
learn some defense then,
He's
because
not very good at
Shohei's
defense.
not going anywhere. It's going to get
There you
tough.
go.
But
That's my only gripe.
well, let's talk some starting pitchers then. I think AL wise, there's probably a big three that are unanimous: Skubal, Crochet, Hunter Brown for the Astros. All guys
Hey,
with
Freed and
ERAs.
Freed. You got to get Freed. Yeah, Freed
Freed.
is.
What are you
Freed's a
doing,
Freed's
in there
probably
Paul?
in
too.
there too. Yo, chill.
He's lights out.
Freed's in there. I forgot.
Chill,
Freed's
Pass the
chill.
right about
crochet if
this.
we're not
Yeah.
counting strikeouts.
That's
He's
that's
done it for full seasons, unlike Crochet.
my bad, guys. Shit. But that's the big four. Five's kind of up for debate depending on what you value. Phil, you have your hand raised.
I value heart, and I love Jacob DeGrom. I want
You
him.
know
I
what?
want to see
Fair.
him. Well, I want to see him one more time.
One more time.
Well, he's probably a lock at least in like yeah, he's probably just a lock period. I had
Oh,
just
I
in
love
terms of
Conyers.
like the five starters, they don't it's not like they need to build a rotation. But like in the terms of the five starters, give me Nathan Evaldi. I really just value like don't give up runs. That's the name of the game. Like stuff like FIP and whatnot is cool. Like if you're building a roster for like the future, like if I want to know who I'm taking for the next 3 years, I care about like how many guys you strike out, that kind of stuff. What if we're just talking about like accomplishments? Like this is how I feel for Cy Young too. I don't know if that's people that care, but like I do not care about strikeouts for Cy Young almost at all. Like
Interesting.
just don't give up runs and pitch innings. Like I'll care about innings. Like and Evaldi's got like a 1.8 ERA. He's right there with these guys in innings. Like guys like Chris Bubick. Shout out Chris Bubick.
Oh,
Probably, maybe, probably a reserve.
probably.
Like I don't like he's got a better F war because he's got a better FIP. I don't care. I really don't. Like, give me the guy that like I want to know what he's actually done. And Nathan Eovaldi's been really good. It's been a weird year for the Rangers. Their offense sucks and their pitching's great. That's complete opposite of what was supposed to happen. But I think that's my five. Dylan's got the Grom. Phil, you got the
Well,
Grom.
I'm actually going Shane Smith because we got the power four,
Oh,
and then we got to find a White
yeah.
Sox.
I had a
I
different White Sox pitcher. I like that though.
Shane Smith, he's he's been good.
Mhm.
Like if we didn't have to have one All Star from each team, yeah, he's not making the team because there's several guys that are having better years than him. But I do think he would be my White Sox representative.
Okay. How about you, Nick? What do you got?
Well, I don't want to steal your thunder, but the one that you said makes sense other than he hasn't pitched a lot. But some random names for the White Sox. I could see them going with any of their rookies that they've brought up. But we looked at Chase Mydroth earlier. He started off pretty hot, and now he's kind of average. But it's gonna probably be a pitcher. So I'll let you say the name though that you got, Paul, because I like that too.
We'll come back to my White Sox. Yeah, he's in my like kind of the bat, the reserve pitchers.
Yeah,
Let's talk our NL starting five pitching. I think the locks are Paul Skeens. I think we've all got Logan Webb. I would think we all have Zach Wheeler, but I'm looking at your list, Dylan. No Zach Wheeler?
I forgot to type it in. I had
Yeah.
Wheeler. The NL was really tough.
Mhm.
I did
No,
want to show
okay, so
some
yeah,
love to Spencer Schwellenbach,
he's good. Did he get hurt? No, that was Smith
Smith
Shawver.
yeah, yeah. The
Shover,
Yeah,
other
the
one.
other weird
Wellenbach's
last
been
name for the
very good.
Braves.
Yeah, yeah, they just generate white guys and be like, go pitch 150 innings, and they do it. But I think yeah, Webb, Skeens, Wheeler's kind of the big three. I'm not biased, and I think Mackenzie Gore should be on
He's
that.
good.
Yeah,
Mackenzie Gore is elite. He is good.
there we go. Good. Bill, say it.
Uh,
He's elite. Say
no, no, no. Okay, I thought you were
it.
asking who I was going to say. He is,
No,
he is, he is good. Except that we did tattoo him a little bit.
yeah,
So
don't.
This is the crazy take, and I know it probably shouldn't happen. I would love to see Jacob Mishorowski pitch an inning in the All Star game. It would be electric. I think he would strike out the side. I watched that game versus him and Skeens. Insane stuff. I mean, granted, you are pitching versus the Pirates, and I
Mm.
think anyone in this call right now could probably put up 7 innings of 2 run
At
ball
least a
versus the
quality
Pirates.
start. At least.
well,
Yeah.
except if you pitch for the Mets, dude.
That Mets uniform, man.
God.
Automatic. Home runs given up to the Pirates.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Yeah, but I think we kind of got a four there, and then the five's really your taste. It's really up to you. I had Chris Sale, even though he's already hurt. Like that's going to be a reserve, but like they usually will give the guy the nod just so we can say he was, and then reserve him. I think Chris Sale's been the best of any, the fifth best starter in the NL. I think he had a 2 or so ERA. He was right up there with innings. He'll start to lag behind the next couple weeks. But as far as just giving the nods for the first half, I think they give it to him. It's really good. How about you guys?
I'm just
Works
looking
for
at it.
me.
Bobby
I
Ray's
agree.
having a good season.
Robbie
Yeah.
Ray's really underrated. You wouldn't think so. Giants are not a small market, really. And like that's a
Yeah,
former Cy Young winner. I mean, it's kind of like I guess that's
got
just
the
one of those
tight
guys that you
pants.
got to be paying attention. But like, he's damn good.
I was kind of surprised at how hard it is to get Braves on this roster, to be honest. With it being in
Yeah.
Atlanta, I think they force Acuna in there, and he's
Mhm.
had when he's played, he's been good. But I mean, he's missed so much. But I do think if you want to call it voter fraud, call it what you want. But I think Acuna starts the All Star game. But like I like Sale on the All Star team, and I had Schwellenbach in there just because I think Sale will be injured. But you got to have
Mhm.
some Brave playing there.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it. I think Sale is the only one I have here, and yeah, Acuna's gonna win it, even though he's played like 15 games. Because when you're on the ballot, it says 1,000 OPS. You're like, this guy's great. This guy's awesome. Good for him. Screw MLB for even keeping him on there the whole time. But like, it's the All Star game. Who cares? But I think we kind of gotta. Nick, did you give us your five?
I mean, I agree with a lot of the names you guys got. There's no Cubs, unfortunately, that can even sniff this.
Matthew
But
Boyd.
lo- I'm not on that All-Star game Matthew Boyd streak, but uh, starting wise, I think you guys kind of nailed it. We can get to the relievers, though. I know there's some interesting names to talk about if everybody's done talking starters.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk
Yeah,
some
go
AL
ahead.
relievers. I think AL is pretty easy. I mean, relievers are so weird. It's kind of what do you value? You value a guy that like gives up almost no runs, but he's not really pitching a lot. Like the most, just for reference, the most innings that a reliever's thrown is about 60, I believe. And most guys are kind of at that 40 range. So it's like, do you kind of value a guy with like a 1 ERA and like 25, 30 innings, or do you value a guy sitting at like, 3 ERA over 60 innings, that kind of stuff? I was more on the ERA side, kind of a little bit of both. NL is harder. AL makes it kind of easy. Cade Smith is like a 2 ERA and like 50 innings. Aroldis Chapman pitching high leverage innings, like an ERA, I think around 2 as well, maybe below. Josh Hader, same thing. Like that was a little easier. Let me know if you guys disagree, but
I
Andres
like this.
Munoz for the Mariners
mhm.
has been good, but it's tough to squeeze it in. Griffin Jacks was also a name I wrote down for the Twins as having a decent year. But yeah, I like that list.
Yeah, Jax is a tough one. I'll just pull it up, but I think he's like ERA was like kind of almost 4, I think. Yeah, he's a 4 ERA, but his FIP is 1.84. So that's kind of an F4 lying to you kind of number. Like
Yeah,
like is he the sixth most valuable reliever in baseball? Like
he's
mm,
got a pretty good K percentage too.
yeah, like it's a good like number to know like if you were gonna trade for this guy at the deadline to be like, okay, he's better than what's going on. But like I'm not voting into the All-Star game because he's a good WAR, like
Yeah,
giving up runs. And yeah, Cade Smith, 2.36. Aroldis Chapman, how about a 1.32 ERA? How about that for like the 38-year-old? Dylan's
Come back to
shaking his head.
Chicago.
Dylan's disgusted, but I
Cubs will take him back.
hey, edit the clip of him and his mom in this.
No.
mean, I don't want to get taken down. We've worked too hard, but well, we'll jump to the NL. I think the easiest
Padres
one is
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of Padres. Randy Rodriguez, 36 innings, a 0.75 ERA. That's ridiculous. I got to watch him pitch in May against the Nationals, and it was like, it was like coach pitch, but the coach was knowing throwing 95 against 8-year-olds. Like it's just like it was the easiest 1, 2, 3 you'll ever watch. It was ridiculous. He's nuts. And yeah, it's just kind of your choice after that because there's a lot of guys with low ERAs. There's a lot of guys with higher ERAs, but that pitch a shit ton of innings. Like for me, it was Adrian Morejon and Jason Adam, two Padres. What do you guys got?
I had a very similar kind of list. I think just the best teams in baseball are going to have some good back end guys.
Hmm.
The Padres have proven that they can win with their bullpen kind of over the past couple years. So I like those pick. Jason Adam, a Cub that got away. Jeremiah Estrada did have good numbers and was good last year. Not so much this year, but I think the Padres are good when they can get elite arms, and it's going to start showing up here a little bit more in terms of all stars and different awards for sure.
Yeah. Is that your two though, Morahone and Adam? Or
I like those two guys. And then the guy on the Pirates, his name is escaping me, but I think
Santana? Or,
yeah, Santana. I know
Mr. Fight a Fan?
Dylan talked about him a little earlier. I've liked his stuff a
Mhm.
lot when he pitches, and they can kind of use him wherever. They don't have design roles because the Pirates don't really win enough. Besides Bednar kind of being the
Mhm.
ninth inning guy, they can use him six, seven, eight. So
Yeah, I don't
those
know
would
if that's
probably
a
be my
hot
two.
take, but I don't care like what inning guys pitch
No,
for the most
I
part.
agree.
Like the closer role probably is harder, like in theory, than like pitching the eighth or seventh. But like I can't prove that. So as far as like All-Star game, like I'm gonna like I want your numbers, not like saves. That I don't know. That's just me. But Santana's a good shot. He's on my reserve pitchers. But
I
what do
want high leverage guys, but I don't care about the
you? Mhm.
saves number.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And like Cade Smith, I don't think they've made him the closer. I know Clase has been kind of weird the last like going back to like last postseason. Like he's kind of just broken. So I don't know if they've made him the closer yet, but yeah, I wonder who did it to. Actually, it was the Tigers first, but still, no. But I guess high leverage is fair. Like I don't want the Rays sixth inning guy in the All Star.
Yeah.
But if he's been really, really
Fair
good,
enough.
maybe we'll see. But yeah, so I had who did we all do ours or?
Yeah, we can finish
Give me
up with the
Jake
best of the
Bird and David
rest. There you
Bednar.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I had them on my backup, or I had Bird at least. And let's talk your kind of final four AL pitching because they need, I believe the minimum's 11 pitchers. I believe that,
Yeah,
or
that's right.
12. Yeah, the minimum's 12 pitchers. So just kind of four more starters or relievers. I went, a couple names you already said. Andres Munoz, he should make it. Very good pitcher. Brian Abreu for the Astros. He's been nails. Probably is their eighth inning guy or so. I think seventh or probably eighth. He's nails. I had my White Sox because someone has to do it. Adrian Hauser, and that's kind of he probably won't because he's only started 7 games. Like that's kind of probably not fair. But he's got an ERA under two, and like someone has to go. Like you've got to send someone. So I feel like they'll probably sneak a bat like Miguel Vargas on there. Like they'll find a way. But like for my money, like if you at least want to have a guy, you can like point at the stats and be like, well, he was good when we put him in.
Yeah.
I'd say Hauser, and then give me Degrom for that final spot. That's an easy one.
What about Mike Vassell for the White Sox? Is he like injured or something?
Oh, let's take a look.
He had okay statistics, I know, at one point. Was he closing
He's
games for them? Is that what kind of made you say that, Phil?
he's got a couple saves, but I'm just looking at his stats. He's got a 1.8 ERA over 45 innings.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
that might
two
be our
point
winner.
2.73, 56 innings. Yeah, he started 3 games, but everything else has been out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
I
kind
guess
of a
got his
guy.
stats in
Okay, yeah,
there. Got his bullpen.
he has zero WAR because his FIP is so high. But like as far as like an All-Star game, just show me the ERA. Like I don't care. So it'll probably be like him. That's kind of a funny one. That'll be a good one to push agendas with. A former Met making it with another team. I think yeah, that is former Met, but yeah, they'll sneak some pitcher in. Probably Vassell, maybe Shane Smith, maybe Hauser, but like someone's got to do it. We'll see. But any other names we're throwing in there?
Chris Bubick, have we said him?
Oh yeah,
He was talked
that's a
about
tough.
earlier, yeah.
Someone
Okay,
will
we were
have to
talking about
get.
him.
That's the thing with someone from each team having to make it. Like some White Sox is going to screw over. Like
Yeah. Framber Valdez has been good. And I
Yeah.
yeah,
think he's probably an odd man out in that.
yeah. There's kind of some tough ones that like, and they'll probably make it. Just especially with pitchers, there's just so many guys that end up going on reserve. Like like, sorry, I pitched on Sunday, can't come. Like there's so
Yeah.
many of that like they'll get at least the nod of being part of the team. But yeah, like just for like this perfect 26 man, they're kind of the odd man out at least. Bubick's close, but hey, we'll see. Any others there?
Finish finish us out. Let's go with
Yep.
the
The
rest of the
rest
National
of the
League.
NL, give me a Jake Bird. You know how hard it is to have an ERA under three as a reliever for the Rockies? Come on. That's ridiculous. So get him in there. Dennis Santana, get him in there. I threw Kodai Senga on there. Again, that's a guy that's immediately, not going to play because he's injured. But I
Yeah.
think he deserves the nod. ERA under two, first half.
Yeah. I mean,
He got hurt 2 weeks ago, give or take, maybe a little more.
I think
So
a little
like,
more.
yeah, like if you don't want to value, two and a third months worth of numbers, that's fair. But I think he was too good not to leave off. Then Andrew Abbott get on there, another guy, ERA under two. I think he got hurt recently. I don't exactly remember. So he might also, again, injury reserve immediately. But like, you got to give guys, credit these guys for the numbers they put up. Give them that, one All-Star game appearance that they don't play in, but for their resume, that kind of thing. That's my four. There's probably a couple more. What do you guys got?
Freddie Peralta is
Yeah,
my Brewer. It's the
yeah.
only Brewer I could. I mean, they're a good team, but Brewer
Hmm.
baseball, they're not really going to be any one guy standing out. So I had Freddie Peralta. He's having
Yeah.
a good year, and you need a Brewer. NL was really hard. There's a lot of good pitching in the NL.
Yeah, I don't think I did do a Brewer now that I think about it. I just kind of assume with any good team, I probably did them, but they really are kind of like everyone just does their thing. So
Got a bunch of role players over there.
yeah, they're just like the Knicks. I don't know. The Knicks have stars. That's not even fair. They're like the Piston, not the Piston. Maybe the Piston. They're the Pacers. They are the Pacers. There's just like a bunch of guys that are like pretty good at baseball. Like they're fun.
What about Tyler Rogers with the Giants? Has had a
Yeah,
pretty
Yeah.
solid
having a
season so
good year.
far. 1.6 whip at .76. Probably doesn't have maybe quite enough innings. I know he's not a huge strikeout guy, but talk about ERAs and uh, looks good so far. I don't
Yeah.
know. Giants need a guy too.
I didn't do
If
a giant
Logan
either.
Webb after Logan Webb, I guess
Oh
maybe
yeah, I was
not,
gonna
The
say
but
Giants
that.
are also the Pacers, actually. We got multiple MLB
multiple
Pacers.
teams being Pacers.
But
Any other names? Throw
I'll
one out
shout
there.
out my
Anyone got
Met
one?
Jose Buteau. He's more of like
uh,
a long relief guy, but he's got
you're
some
gonna need a
numbers.
couple injuries for that to happen, I think. Well, you
Yeah.
can't
But
rule it out.
we gotta give love to our boys. You know.
Long
So
relievers are pitchers too. They matter. Yeah. David Peterson would have had a chance if he didn't explode. How's his
yeah,
ERA? Like
it's
season
at
one?
I think it's at a 3.6. I think I saw or something like that, something around there.
That he could still end up on there.
Yeah,
Guys in like in the threes in ERA, as long as they pitch enough, like there's a good chance as long as guys
dude,
back
if his ERA wasn't a 7.5 in the month of June, he would be on the
it.
team.
He
Him
hates
and
Pride
Senga
Month.
too. Senga could have had a shot to start the game if he didn't get injured. The way
Yeah.
he was pitching.
And yeah, Mizorowski was a good call because they kind of did. Schemes was
Yeah.
called up earlier than Mizorowski was, but he'd only pitched like 40 innings, and they put him on the team. Like Mizorowski's been better than
He
Schemes.
started the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really yeah, you get a couple of these guys to back out, and it's like, do we want to put a reliever with a 3 ERA that like no one knows, or do we want to let this 6'9" freak pitch? What do we want to do?
95-mile-per-hour slider.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
like they might as well. And I mean, he's given up
your
like
arms
four
are
hits over
8 feet
three
long.
big league appearances. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, all I needed to hear was 6'9" freaks to close this one out. Thank you so much for listening to the end
Yeah.
of the Baseball Pipeline Talk podcast. We are very excited as we get closer to the draft. As always, be on the lookout for more content. Shout out Dylan. Thank you for joining us,
Thanks for
representing
having
the
me.
Yankees very hard. It was fun. Glad you got to spit some ball knowledge for our viewers. But thanks again for listening. Looking forward. Check it out next time. This has been the Pipeline Talk Podcast, Episode 6, All Star. Happy 4th of July.